Alright people, what's up everyone, and welcome to yet another movie review with your boy Gor the Movie God. That's me. Hello, how you doing? And I just got back from seeing a little movie called Dumbo. Aw, ain't he cute? Look at him. Look at that. That has to be a good movie. Look how adorable he is. Big ass ears, flapping around, cute eyes. He's an elephant. I don't know what we want. Elephants? I like elephants. Yeah, they're cool. Whatever. So I am a big fan of the original Dumbo, don't get me wrong. I haven't seen it in years, and when I was a kid I loved it. But I haven't seen it in a long time, so I can't tell you if I would still be a huge fan, especially since that movie's like, what, like 65 minutes long? The movie's short. Half of the time is spent singing, and there's a few racist moments in that movie. You know, the crows. One of them is named Jim Crow. I wouldn't even say that's on the nose. That's just like if you put your finger on your nose and then just like jammed into your nostril all the way to your brain. Like that's a little too far. All right, so it was a different time. I get it, and you can still enjoy that movie, I'm sure, without thinking about all the racist shit that's in the movie. But a live action adaptation or just an adaptation or a remake or whatever of that original movie makes sense to me. Of all the ones that I felt needed one, it's definitely Dumbo. That one definitely does feel like one that should be remade. I would have preferred it to be an animated movie, but whatever. A live action one. It has Danny DeVito in it. I like Danny DeVito. It has Colin Farrell. He's good. I like him too. Michael Keaton. Love Michael Keaton. Eva Green. I love Eva Green. I love all these people. I love the cast. I was really looking forward to it. And Tim Burton directing it, that was like, okay, that could be weird. But I was thinking about it more and more. It involves like a circus, and Tim Burton could do weird. That's for sure. And I thought maybe at least he would dip into his old like Tim Burton-ish sort of ways, because he hasn't really been extremely weird Tim Burton in a very long time, but I thought maybe he would get into some of the weird stuff you'd see in a circus. Like, I mean, a circus, there's a lot of weird shit, but like, I thought it would be like crazy. He would go nuts. He didn't. I'll just tell you that right here. So I was looking forward to it, and the trailers have been pretty good for the most part. I mean, they haven't been advertising the hell out of this one, but yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to it for the most part, and sad to say that it's kind of unnecessary. It really is. It's such an unnecessary movie, and I hate to say that. I don't want to harp on it too much, because it's not a bad movie. It's fun. It's fun fluff. It's a nice little movie. You watch it, you leave the theater going, "Aw, that was nice." Not great, not a classic in any way. It's a nice little movie. It's nice. That's the best I could say. It's nice. It is a enjoyable enough movie, but it has some problems. I will say that. Okay, let's just get straight to the problem, and that is the human characters. And I don't even really mean Colin Farrell. I don't mean Eva Green. I don't mean. Well, I kind of mean Michael Keaton, but we'll get to that. I don't even mean Danny DeVito. I thought everybody besides Michael Keaton that I listed were great. I thought Colin Farrell was a great dad. He finally was managing... I mean, he finally managed to not have his Irish accent come through whenever he was doing he was doing more like a country accent here. And I never heard his Irish accent. He did a good job there. And for the most part, he was just really good in the movie. You could feel his loss because he lost his wife and stuff. He lost an arm from the war. He comes back to the circus. He was a kind of like a rodeo guy. So he comes back to Danny DeVito's circus, and it's all run down and stuff, and his kids, they lost their mother. So you can feel it. You can feel it from him. Danny DeVito's fun. Danny DeVito's always great. I love Danny DeVito. Even if he's not doing a good job acting, I just like his presence. We don't see him too much in movies anymore, and I really like him. In the movie, he's fun. He has a good amount of dramatic moments. I mean, not about him. There's no drama about him, but he has to carry some of the more dramatic moments a couple times here and there, and he does a good job. Eva Green is good. She doesn't show up until about halfway through the movie, though, but she's good too. Michael Keaton, though, he plays like the most mustache twirling, like evil British / like, I can't even, like Brooklyn, like city dwelling, like weird ass accent villain. Like, I couldn't even tell what he was supposed to be. At first it sounded like he was British, then he was like, I don't know, I think he had some sort of like maybe a Brooklyn accent, and then he started just trying to sound as evil as possible. And it's so obvious he's the villain. You can look at his hairdo, and immediately like he's a villain. He's definitely, look at him. look at him, he's the villain. And it's just so obvious. But when we get right down to it, the two main characters besides Dumbo are these two kids. And I really should just say the one kid, played by, I think her name is Nico Parker, who is bland as a son of a bitch. She is probably the most bland kid character I've seen in a movie in so long. And the actress, I know, no offense to her, I'm sure she's good in other movies if she is in any movies. I know she's the daughter of Tandy Newton, I believe, and she looks very much like her, so, you know. But she is bland in this movie, man, and she's supposed to have like some dramatic moments and stuff, and she has a whole character arc about how she wants to be a scientist and stuff, and you never feel it. You never feel it. Even when she is talking to Dumbo, which, by the way, have you noticed I haven't really mentioned too much about Dumbo yet? There's a reason why. But even when she's like interacting with Dumbo, you don't ever feel it, and you could tell because she didn't have anything to work with because it's a CG thing. They probably had like a balloon there, touch the balloon or something. I don't know, a padded thing. Just touch that padded thing. We'll add it later. And she's not a good enough actress for me to believe that. And I say the two kids. The one kid, the son, is barely in the movie. He is a main character technically, but he's barely in it. They want you to think he's a main character, but he's not really. He's there a lot of times. He just doesn't say anything or do anything. The most he ever does is a handstand. That's about it. That's the most he ever does. And it's so disappointing because if they're gonna put kids in there, I get it. Kids interacting with Dumbo. You didn't really see that in the original. You had a mouse in Dumbo. That was about it. So it makes sense having kids interact with Dumbo, especially kids that lost a mother or whatever, but you never feel it. You never do. You never feel this connection between Dumbo and the girl. You don't feel a connection between Dumbo and anything besides Dumbo and his mother, and they're both CG creations. So now let's talk about Dumbo. Even though I didn't care about a lot of the characters, some of them I was like, I can kind of feel it with Colin Farrell and him losing his wife. I just don't feel it with the kids and losing their mother. But, I will say that the special effects are pretty good for the most part for Dumbo and his mother and even some of the other animals. There's times where it looks a little too fake. There's a monkey character in the movie that's just there for a gag, just like most monkeys are in movies for some reason, even though monkeys are awesome. Come on. But he's there for just a gag a couple times, and he was overly CG. Like, it is so obvious. It doesn't help that I also saw this movie in a very dark theater, and I mean, like, the screen was darker than usual. So if it was brighter, I'd probably be able to tell how bad some of the other special effects were. But some of them were not bad, but they weren't great. But Dumbo himself looked good. He's flying around and stuff, and he looks cute enough. Yeah, you can believe Dumbo, okay? By the way, Dumbo does not talk in this one. He did in the original. By the way, this is also 2 hours long, where the original was 65 minutes, but whatever. So double the length and about 100% less Dumbo talking. Because he doesn't say shit. He doesn't say words at all in this, which I get. But Jungle Book, they made that work. Why can't you make Dumbo work talking? Even if he's just talking to the other animals and not the kids. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, I really liked the Dumbo character in this movie. Okay, Dumbo himself, he's cute, he's adorable. You can feel he's the underdog, and Dumbo's like one of the original underdogs, I guess you could say. He's an elephant with giant flappy ears. Everybody makes fun of him. The elephants make fun of him. People make fun of him. Everybody. Nobody likes him. In this one, people make fun of him. In the original, elephants make fun of him. They call him Dumbo. Oh, you dumb. You dumb. Dumbo. That's your name. Ha! Gotcha. In this one, it's the people, but it all felt so, like, over the top whenever they were laughing at Dumbo. There's even one guy who's just like, ha, look at his ears, ha ha ha. It was like, there's moments like that. It's so obviously over the top. No one would ever react like this. Even back then, nobody would react like this to a big-eared elephant. Like, I'm sorry, you have to be the biggest loser in the world to really, really overact the way you are in this movie to an elephant with big ears. Because they were all like, they were treating him like he was like the next like Antichrist. So he's like, oh, he's a freak. Oh, it's crazy. But Dumbo is a good underdog character, and he pulls through, and he has the feather. Everybody remembers the feather. He doesn't have his mouse friend. I forgot his name. But he doesn't really have them. But he pulls through for the most part, even if the kids can't freaking act his way through it. Dumbo does a good job, so good. Congrats to the CG artists, the people that make Dumbo, because they did a good job. I like Dumbo in this, so it's good to like him. Problem is he's not in the movie too much. He doesn't talk, so you don't really get a lot of emotion from Dumbo besides in his face, which is fine. They do a good job with that, though. And there's plenty of changes, obviously. Like I said, they got rid of the Jim Crow guys. You know, the crows was a problem. They got rid of that completely. Even though they have a reference to one of the lines from Dumbo, from one of the crows, in here. And Michael Buffer is the one that says it, which is really strange that Michael Buffer shows up. You can tell that this movie was just kind of like made like, yeah, let's just throw some silly gags in there. Michael Buffer shows up and, of course, he says, "Let's get ready to Dumbo." I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. By the way, Michael Buffer, how old is he? I feel like I've seen him in movies for the last, like, 40 years. I swear. That's probably not true, but I feel like I've seen him in movies from, like, the 70s. That's probably not true, but, I mean, he has to be getting up there. But anyway, the kids were really annoying. Colin Farrell did good. Everybody did good. Michael Keaton, though, is the most over-the-top villain. I've already said this before, but I really have to bring it back and just, like, analyze how certain movies recently did their villains, like, and realized that, you know what, maybe Aquaman wasn't so annoying with its villain. Like, yeah, he might have been over the top a little bit, but he ain't like Michael Keaton in this. I love Michael Keaton, but he is so over the top, to the point where he's trying, "That's my elephant," and at the end he's sabotaging his own freaking circus. I'm like, what are you doing? What is going on? It's just, you don't get any backstory too, really, besides you hear one thing about, like, his father left him when he was young. That's all you get. All right, sorry for the jump cut there, but my camera ran out of space. Anyway, back to it. Anyway, you don't get any backstory for Michael Keaton's character at all. You really don't, besides his daddy left him when he was a kid. Oh, now I understand why he's going and freaking out and trying to murder elephants. I get why he's evil. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Whatever. So yeah, the story itself is fairly generic. You know where it's gonna go, obviously. Even if you didn't watch the original Dumbo, this one does change it up enough. So if you were just hoping you'd see something different, maybe not anything that will surprise you, but you just want to see something different with the Dumbo character, then this one's a little bit different, sure, but it's also double the length, so it better be friggin' different. If it's the same thing, except spread out for 2 hours, then we'd have a freaking problem. The main problem, really, I have to go back to the kids. We focus on them so much, and Nico Parker, I think that's her name. I'm sorry if I'm remembering it wrong, but she is really bland. I don't want to say she's terrible, but because I have a feeling it was probably just the movie itself and what she had to say, because a lot of the stuff was just lame dialogue. That's another thing. Aaron Kruger, every time I saw the freaking trailer for this, at the end it would say screenplay by Aaron Kruger, and every time I saw it I was like, oh no. No. Aaron Kruger, no, the writer of Transformers, no, please stop. Don't hire him anymore. What are you doing? Why is Aaron Kruger still writing stuff? I don't think he's ever wrote a good screenplay in his fucking life. Please do not hire. I'm sorry for cursing. If you're watching this, you're a kid, I apologize. Whatever, kids freaking curse all the time. But, just don't hire him anymore. He's horrible. He's one of the worst screenwriters, I think, ever. He's horrible. Okay? At least he's one of the worst writing now. I think he's terrible. I really do. And I'm sure he has movies where the movies ended up being pretty good, but I assure you the screenplays probably were shit. I assure you. The movie overcome that. Like, this movie kind of overcomes it. The writing, again, not great. There's some attempts at comedy. Most of them don't really work. Sometimes it was like chuckle-worthy, but for the most part. The Freaks, that upset me. Because you have the circus and Tim Burton, all that stuff. I wanted to see some weird stuff, and you really don't get that. The circus stuff was kind of lame. To be honest, I think Greatest Showman did a better job with the circus stuff. That movie was straight up a musical. By the way, this isn't a musical. I should mention that, because the original Dumbo, which was only an hour, was a musical, had great dramatic moments, had some racism in there, sure. Pink elephant scene, classic. Here, a jumbled mess. The pink elephant scene is literally like 40 seconds long, and it's a jumbled, edited nightmare. Not horrible, I guess, but it's a jumbled nightmare, but it wasn't horrible. I've had way worse nightmares. So I got good comparisons, you know, compared to some of my nightmares. It wasn't that bad. But yeah, no, it's just a. I don't know. It's just a bland movie. And Tim Burton, I don't know. I thought he would be a good fit after thinking about it with the circus stuff, and I didn't feel like it was a Tim Burton thing. I really didn't. Like at the end of the movie, I was like, oh, it was fine enough. That was a fine movie. I kept saying it was fine, and I feel like if it's Dumbo, a classic Disney cartoon, on the top of the Disney castle is the elephants. Dumbo. It's on top of the Disney castle. That must symbolize something, right? For Disney, like that's like not the peak, but whatever. It's just I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Dumbo is not great, and it has a lot of problems. But if you want to take the kids out, you'll enjoy it enough. The kids will really like it because it has a cute elephant in it who he's good, and it's a good version of Dumbo the character, not a good version of Dumbo the movie though. But anyway, there you go. That's it. If I had to give it a score though, I forgot I'm gonna do a score. I give it a 24 out of 40. It's fine. That's like 6 out of 10. It's fine. How many times have I said it's fine in this review? I'm sorry. That's just the way I have to explain things. Anyway, that's Dumbo. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.